And just like that, we are back once again. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show this week, the show live. I'm your host, David Burrows. And I don't know where you're watching from, but the weather is beautiful here. It's hot, okay, but it's beautiful weather here in Sarnia, Ontario, Canada. Yes, we get warm weather here in the north. Regardless, we don't all live in igloos here in Canada, but it's about almost 30 degrees Celsius here where I'm at. And hello, RJ. I see RJ, my friend. It's nice to see you watching, RJ. Much appreciated. I forgot to share the show in the B Livers group. Maybe, RJ, you could help me with that. That would be awesome. Lots to talk about here and some fantastic guests. I get excited every week for this time of the week because I always know that I'm going to have some great conversations with some great people, and you never know where the conversation is going to lead. But thank you, RJ. I appreciate the help out there. I do want to talk about what happened over this past weekend, though. If you were watching my Facebook feeds, you know that I have an annual karaoke cruise on the Duc d'Orleans, it's called, here in Sarnia. We live in the St. Clair River, which is attached to Lake Huron. And the Duc d'Orleans 2 is, it's a party boat, put it that way. It's a party boat. It's a fun boat. They have lunch cruises and dinner cruises, and then they have band cruises. And every year I have my annual karaoke cruise. And this year I was celebrating 30 years of entertainment here in Sarnia, 27 of that karaoke. So I started DJing at a little bar downtown when I was 19 called Mr. Mike's Variety Club. But we were celebrating 30 years and had an opportunity to catch up to get a photo with Ken and Sherry from the Duke, Captain Ken and Sherry, and Jim Bracewell as well, who, 30 years we were celebrating. And it's always been a lot of fun down there, and they've been very supportive to me over the years to make things work on the events that I've put on there. And we met some new folks that came out, took some pictures and selfies. Selfies are still cool, I guess, right? Some people don't know, but selfies are still cool. Family joining us on the Duc d'Orleans. We had about 130 people joining us on the Duc d'Orleans this past, yesterday, Sunday, if you're watching this live. There's my daughter, Julie, and Val Henderson posing for the camera. It's just absolutely beautiful out there on the St. Clair River. We are right on the border of the United States. So we go up one way and we look at the beautiful US of A, and then coming back, we see Canada. So we're right in the middle of it all. It's really a fantastic trip. And my friend Gary Parker was up there singing. He loves his Elvis and does a fantastic. Gary, I've known him for a lot of years as well. And he's a cross between, this is his voice, Elvis, Roy Orbison, and Marty Robbins. Put those three together. That's Gary Parker, and he does a beautiful job entertaining as well. There's my daughter, Julie, singing. She really didn't want me to take her picture, so she's probably not looking too impressed there. But we got a couple from her anyway. I don't get to see her as often as I'd like, so it was great to have her there. And Anna, and there's Allison. That's Val Henderson that we showed you earlier. That's her granddaughter. So we've got all kinds of age. There's kind of an idea of what we were enjoying for our 3-hour tour. A 3-hour tour. Yeah, it was no Gilligan's Island because we made it back. But just absolutely beautiful to see. Oh, yes, little Cindy. She loves to perform as well. So lots of great entertainment and fun that was happening yesterday on the Duc d'Orleans. So thanks to everybody who came out. Again, about 130 people on there. And 30 years been doing that. Wow. Okay, I just dated myself. Some great things coming up. Networking opportunities. Last day with the old lips. I got to get some new ones apparently. The Business After 5 is going to be happening out at the Chris Hadfield Airport here in Sarnia. Speaking of which, when we went by one of the islands here, Chris Hadfield stays out there, astronaut Chris Hadfield, so he gave us a wave as well. But the Business After 5 happening this Wednesday at the Chris Hadfield Airport. Starts at 5 o'clock, goes to about 7 o'clock, and it's free for members, only $10 if you're a non-member. And if you're not a member and you're in business, come on out there, be my guest. The first one's on me. Lots of fantastic people to network and meet out there. And you just never know who's going to show up. Chris Hadfield Airport. Just saying. That's all I can tell you. The Business After 5 put on by the Chamber of Commerce here. Looking forward to that. The Outstanding Business Achievement Awards coming up in October, put on by the Sarnia Lambton Chamber. And nominations are in, and lots of my friends got nominated, including myself got nominated. And I have no idea who nominated me. So whoever you are, thank you so much for that. Nominated for Customer Service Individual Award. So looking forward to being a part of that in October. And I'll be live streaming that event. We'll have more details as that. That's going to be here before October. Can you believe it is August 13th? Wow. How did that happen? What summer? What are you talking about? I've got some more events coming up, and then we're going to take a little vacation. So I'm looking forward to that. Outdoor family movie night happens every year at Sarnia Park, and that's going to be happening on August the 21st. That's put on by Libro Credit Union, and they always get lots and lots of people out there. Bring the lawn chairs. It's absolutely free. They'll have popcorn and some other goodies for the kids as well. And that's August the 21st here at Sarnia Park. I was talking with Stephen Healy earlier on our earlier show at noon. We talk broadcasting to your community. And he said, I see you have beaches where you live, David. I'm like, yeah, we have several where I live. In fact, Sarnia Park Beach is one of the top 5 rated in all of Canada. So we're pretty proud of that fact here in Sarnia where I live. So I hope you had a great weekend and lots of fun. There was certainly lots of fun going on over the weekend. I didn't go too much of anywhere because I had lots going on with getting ready for the cruise and stuff and some other things happening. But we got out and had a fish fry with some friends. And then we went out to the Brights Grove Music Festival, which was fantastic to see their second year. Lots of people out there, great music, and in support of the Canadian Mental Health Association as well, which is certainly important. I ran into Brian White out there, who's part of St. Clair Child and Youth, and we had some good conversation. It always helps when Mother Nature cooperates, right? You know, for these outdoor events, it definitely makes a difference on the numbers of people, pardon me, who show up to support the events. And there's certainly lots to do, no lack of anything to do, I like to say, here in Sarnia Lambton. So before I move on, I'm a little early, but my first guest is ready. But before I do, I just want to put it out to you, everybody. If you've got an event that you want me to share, talk about, or maybe you'd like to be a guest on the show, talk about your event, or you talk about something positive that you're doing, I'd like you to reach out to me. After the show, I'll post in the comments how you can reach out to me. Or if you've got me on Facebook, send me a message. Positive things only, but I definitely want to hear from you. And speaking of positive, I want to go to my first guest. We've just recently gotten to know each other through the Facebook world. And she's doing some great things you're going to hear about. And we've finally been able to, we've sort of tried to figure out when we could make this happen. And she's here today. So give me thumbs up. You ready? Yeah, she's ready. I knew she was. Coming in right now. This is Cheryl Bassitt. Cheryl, thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me. It's exciting. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, it's exciting to have you here because I know we're like I say, we're kind of a new relationship, but I've been doing my due diligence, checking you out, and you are Unstoppable Connections. What a great name.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been through some gyrations, but that's where we are, and I love it.
Yeah. Well, let's get started with you and talk to me about. Let's give the background on you a little bit, and how did Unstoppable get started for you?
Yeah, so mine has been an entire journey from start to finish. And it's funny because most of the time, I think we don't even realize we're on it. And so mine started when my boys were young and how we had to really come together, particularly around finances, but, just in that communication. The day that mom had a meltdown over a tube of chapstick was one of our defining moments. And it was the first time that we sat down and had a family meeting. And from there, it took on a life of its own. And, I really thought that I was going to sit down and I was just going to impart all my wisdom onto my children, and what ended up happening is that we came together and they had a lot to share and I had a lot to learn. And so we became a team, and that team is built on trust. And they are now 28 and 25. And to this day, the communication and connection I have with them is something I think every family would want.
Yeah. It seems like such a simple thing to say, oh, we connect with our families, our children and our spouse, if we have one. And we just kind of go, oh yeah, I connect with my family. Do we? Is that a fair question to say? Are we connecting as much as we think we are, or do we take for granted that we are?
I think we're in some really, like, I think it was so less complicated, honestly, when my boys were younger compared to now, because there's so much noise right around us.
Yeah.
And, I love technology. Well, I'm embracing it more and more. But when I did and I think it's up there on the screen, the next best brilliant idea for humanity.
Yeah.
The whole concept of that was that today, while technology connects us across continents, tonight, can you connect with your family?
Mm-hmm.
And so out of that came this I started to share in companies, because I was already out speaking, saying you just need to sit down and really connect with your family. And what I found out was I was getting that sort of that deer in the headlight look. Well,
yeah.
How do you really do that? And so I created a system that allows families to really plug into the foundation of that. But certainly they take it and they make it their own, but it gives them everything they need to get started. And I've even had people, homeschool moms, for example, that have said it's a different connection than anything they've ever done before.
And what do you think they mean by that? Like, like when we talk about connecting here, we just talking about, just talking to our children, talking to our spouse. There's more than just talking, though, isn't there?
So my family developed what we call these 4 core seeds, and they're secret seeds, we call them, just to make it, sort of interesting. But the truth is they're simple. And the reality is that if you use them, they're powerful. And those 4 seeds ground the conversation so that it doesn't matter what the discussion is. If you surround it with those 4 seeds and plant those into it, you can talk about anything, whether it's a really fun topic or something that's very serious, because you've set the ground rules for how that conversation can unfold in a way that respects everyone who's involved in the conversation. And that's where I think, so I always say that, if you're one of those parents that think that children should be seen and not heard, or, do as I say, but not as I do, you're not going to like what I do at all.
Yeah. Well, and they're kind of living in the wrong world. Let's be honest. I think,
right.
Yeah. Especially with the technology, right?
Oh, especially with the technology. So this is where the authenticity comes on. But how many times have you even seen, I know you have you gone out to dinner or been in a restaurant and you see the whole family and they're all doing this?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're not really connecting. So this is the first seed. I don't go into all 4 necessarily, but the first one is disconnect to connect. Right?
Disconnect to connect. Is that what you said? Yeah. Okay.
Now that doesn't mean, and it's funny because I was just talking with RJ about this, you and I right now are having a connection, and we are on technology. But while we're doing that, we're not looking at our cell phones or being distracted we're focused on each other. And so the disconnect is really just to let the person who's in front of you be more important than all the other technology that surrounds us.
But we're engaging with each other, and this is how we are connected. Where are you? Where do you live?
I'm in Ohio.
You're in Ohio. You're in where, Ohio?
Cincinnati area. Well,
Cincinnati. Okay, sorry, I couldn't hear.
I'm from Columbus.
Okay.
So my boys are in Columbus, and then I've been sort of in between Columbus and Cincinnati. But I'm closer to Cincinnati now. Okay,
I have to ask the question about Cincinnati. You've probably gotten this question before. Is there really a WKRP there?
I think there is, but I honestly don't know the answer to that. I don't think that Lonnie Anderson or Burt Reynolds were there, but
right. Yeah, I got you. I've been waiting to say that all week, actually.
Okay, I'll check it out.
But you're right about that. I like how you put the disconnect to connect. I'm not perfect at it because of what I do as my phone as a tool. It's always attached to my hip, and we do there's a regular restaurant we go to, and sometimes it's sitting right there, and I'll go, okay, just a second, I just got to check, because I'm waiting for an email or a text that I consider to be important. Jennifer often just grabs it gently, lovingly out of my hand and takes it and flips it over the other way. And that's my clue, right? To go, yes. Oh yes. Okay. We're we're here in the restaurant. It's conversation time. How was your day? You know, how was school, Jason? All that sort of stuff, right? So, but it's hard because it is so much attached to us, so much now that it, like, and I guess it depends how you use that technology. Like I say, I use it as a tool. I think others use it more of not so much as a tool, but as communication, how we talk to each other, like texting, you know, like my kids who are 18 and 20-ish, like they were almost born with one, right?
Right. Yeah.
What? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think that the technology it can augment and complement our relationships. There's no question. But we also know that there's a lot of time spent playing games online and just tracking through Facebook or whatever it is, right? Or Instagram or whatever. And so and it doesn't mean that you have to do it all the time, but there ought to be this time that you carve out, right? That it's just about that moment.
Yeah. Like we at home, we have a table. We have a device table. So that's where they go when we're having dinner, or we kind of have a rule. We sort of, I'm not going to lie, we sort of follow it. If we're in the living room and the television is on, like you're one device. You're not watching the movie and checking your phone at the same time, which guilty.
Oh yeah.
We all have to remind each other, right? Like I'll get after Jennifer. I go, so how's Candy Crush? Or are we watching Suits here tonight? You asked me to come up out of my dungeon so we can spend some time together, and you're staring at your phone. And don't get me wrong, she says the same thing to me. She just says it better. But so what? Go on now. Talk to us about more. So that's the first seed. Tell us some more about the seeds.
So the second seed is kind of fun. It's called "Don't Quack the Duck."
Okay.
And we used to have "Don't Shoot the Duck," but we decided not to go around shooting things, so we decided to change it to "Quack" because it's nicer. But the duck is the idea, right? So when you sit down to have a discussion, we actually have what we call no duck quacking sessions, where there are no bad ideas. Everybody just gets to throw out their ideas, and everybody gets their idea heard, and it deserves to feel heard and respected. So, I've done this in companies, and we put little yellow ducks out on the table, and I can just tell you there's a whole lot of duck quacking that goes on because people don't realize how much they either really aren't listening or really not valuing someone's input. And some of the best ideas come from some of the ones that seem initially like crazy ideas, right?
Sure.
So it's just this space and time where also you listen to one another in a way that everybody feels heard.
Yeah. Well, and again, these are simple things, right? Like they're totally simple. So was that sort of the intention when you created these rules, was to like keep it simple?
Yeah. So when we first started to so this evolved over time for us, right? So I took what we did and shared it with the next best brilliant idea for humanity. And you're right. Who knew, right? That something as simple as just connect with your family in a meaningful way was the next best brilliant idea for humanity. But over time, we just kind of embraced around these four concepts that we kind of felt like no matter what the conversation was about, we were able to then go through it in a way that was positive and meaningful and, allowed us to really delve into a conversation, even if it was a tough topic.
Yeah. What would some of those tough topics be? Or the tough ones or the awkward ones, right?
Yeah, so it's funny because I used to think that my whole thing I was going to go out and share was about the fact that we lost our home and that we pulled together and became a team as a result of it. But really what happened for us was we were already a team. So by the time we got to the point where we were losing our home, I never once worried that we wouldn't come out of it okay, not once. And we never had one argument because we realized at that point in time in our life that we were more important than the house or anything else that was surrounding us. And we had trust that we could get through it. So I think it's so much deeper in terms of what this can really do for your family. But it does allow a weekly meeting, which you think is about that 1 hour, and it's not. It's about everything else that happens the second you leave that table.
Cheryl, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's all right. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say when you were talking about your home, I heard the emotion in your throat. That was I guess it was kind of a test, maybe. Was it?
Yeah, I mean, I got to be honest with you. It's not like I wouldn't say it sucked, right? I mean, it did suck. There's no
Sure. Oh
question.
yeah.
It's not a fun time, but like I said, I never once wore on my heart the fear that somehow we were not going to make through it. In fact, I knew when we got through it, we'd be stronger. I knew
Yeah.
it. So I think that life comes at you fast, right? And
Mhm.
it's just being prepared for that moment. In fact, I tell people, if you come to my website and you're in a 911, you should leave immediately and go find somewhere else, because I'm about the proactive way of connecting as a family so that when you have a 911, you already have that confidence that you can get through it.
It's already in place.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, and I guess that's a true testament to your survival, because I do think there's that time that things happen, and it's usually something tragic that has to happen, whether it's loss of a home or loss of a loved one, or there's a list of things we could mention. And when those things happen, we tend to go, oh, what do I do?
Mhm.
Whereas I guess if you've got that already structured in place, like you're talking about, you're not going, what do I do? You sort of know how to begin getting through it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And that's exactly what it is. It's kind of like if your house is on fire, you don't go, well, let's meet at the kitchen table and create a plan to get out of here, right?
Yeah, right. That's a little too late.
It's a little too late. So I think this is the gift of really going into anything that happens in your life and
Mhm.
being able to know that, and this might sound corny, but there's a quote that says, it's not about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain. And I
Yeah,
think, yeah, that's what when we get to the rain, we dance in it together
that's
because,
not corny at all. I think
okay,
I think there's a lesson in there. And if somebody thinks it's corny, who cares?
okay. I think it's
Who
corny.
who's corny's good. Corny
Corny's good.
I'm like that too. I say stuff and my kids roll their eyes at me, but they know I'm right. They keep someday they'll start telling me as they get older I'm smarter or something. I don't know. Tell me who's in this picture here.
Yeah, so that's my two boys and my husband. And when this first started for me, I was a single mom.
Okay.
So obviously they're a little bit older here. But when we had our first family meeting, my boys were probably like 7 and 4. So
Okay. And what do they? Well, tell us who the boys are and what do they do?
so I'm trying to see. So if you're looking at the picture, the one on the far right is Brian,
Okay.
and he works at Nationwide and has done oh my gosh, like so exciting. He got engaged a month ago.
Oh,
Right.
nice.
Yeah, so very exciting. And then my other son on the other side, David, got engaged yesterday.
Oh, wow! Congratulations.
So they're both engaged. Yeah. And David's in training to be a firefighter. And then my husband, Bob, is a chiropractor, and I'm the short one.
He's a chiropractor.
He's a chiropractor.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow! How long has he done that?
Oh my gosh, like 35 plus years.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And what's your?
Longer than you've been doing your cruise.
Oh, there you go. Okay. I feel younger now. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
Now, and I want to get. We've still got some time here to talk about the other two seeds if you want. But before all of this, what's your work background?
Yeah, so I was with well, I have a lot of background. I used to do a little bit of hosting on a show that was just a local thing that I did, and but before that, I was the executive director for the Ohio State Chiropractic Association.
Okay.
Hence how I met my husband to be,
Right.
and so I have a background a lot in nonprofit work and running that kind of thing. So, and then I've definitely been in the world of networking and network marketing and so forth.
Okay.
And got a lot of background in that. In fact, if you look at what I was sharing with my kids in that earlier time frame, a lot of it was coming from all this leadership development, personal growth that I was getting from some of the companies that I was involved with. And it was when I walked away from it, I remember my dad, who has his favorite quote was, "You can be wrong or you can agree with me." But when I walked away from it, he goes, "Well, that was money wasted." And I'm like, "You can't put a price on what I learned,
Yeah, I agree with you.
And then shared. So And that's what I would encourage families to do. Man, if you're someone that's out in the workforce and you're getting those nuggets, those things that you do in your work life, take them home and share them with your family. Right?
Absolutely. I could not agree with you more. And I've been involved with network marketing and a few that led up to the last one I was involved. And the only and I was doing fine in the last one. And the only reason I walked away was because just life changed for me. I put it on the back burner. I made my money, made it back, all that stuff. And then I just decided to take a different direction. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody failed. But I remember one of my first meetings that I gave my own testimony at, and I said very emotionally, if I never made a penny in this business, I cannot replace it with what I've gained from the leadership and the education and the personal development that this company has given to me. And I have taken those, and I still have some of those books, the John C. Maxwell's and all that sort of stuff, and all those nuggets. I sound really smart to some people sometime, but I always have to say, I wish I'd have done that, but I read that somewhere.
Right. But you read it, so you are smart.
Yeah, right. Okay.
That's a beauty, I think, that gets missed in that, when people don't understand the business model and when it's done right, it's amazing. When it's done wrong, it's not amazing. But when you get into the right company that really values the people that are involved in it, I don't think there's anything more special than what it teaches.
I would actually like to see most people go into a network marketing. Somebody's going to quote me on this. I know it, but
you're going to get in trouble.
I would love to see everybody get involved in a network marketing company and fail, but then tell me that they didn't get something out of it, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
When I say fail, I just mean I know
what you mean.
Just get that. The personal development, any of the successful network marketing companies have all of that.
Yeah.
And I truly believe in do 10 minutes a day. And reading is often something that's overmissed. I'm glad you shared that with me. Thanks for that. Let's go into the next couple of seeds. We've got just about 3 minutes left with you.
Okay. So the third seed, which I think was probably one of the most powerful for us, was something called living above the mark.
Okay.
And when you're above the mark, you have ownership, accountability, and responsibility. And when you're below, you're blaming someone else, you're making your excuses, or you're in denial. And I can't tell you the number of times that's come into play in our family. The first time I ever shared it with David, he was 13. And I remember it profoundly because of his response, because I'm saying, does that make sense to you that if you're below the mark, you're giving your power away to someone or something? And he says, oh, Mom, he goes, I totally get it. So what you're saying is, like last night when we lost our baseball game, we all just sat around and blamed the umpire, but we never looked at ourselves. So we won't play any better than we did, tonight, better than we did last night. So it was just this, I went, oh my gosh, like he totally gets it. Right. So,
right.
And then and they've held me accountable, and that's where the whole thing, gee, Mom, a little below the mark,
Yep.
I've gotten it. And then the last one, which came a little bit later for us, but it was to celebrate ourselves and others. And when we can sit and, first of all, truly appreciate who we are and the beauty that we bring, then we can see it in others. And every day we wake up and are surrounded by all kinds of things that are not positive. You can turn on the news for 5 minutes and find that, and the injustices in the world, right?
Yeah.
Or you can look for the beauty, and every day you wake up, you have that choice. And so we chose to surround ourselves with the things that when we wake up makes us feel good about where we are and who we are, and everyone that we share that with.
Well, that's fantastic. We agree on a lot of those things there. We both got a very same mindset going on there. It comes down to surrounding yourself with the right people, making the right choices, good choices. Even sometimes when you make good choices, bad things still happen, but you increase your chances of good things happening.
Right. And that's just the contrast that reminds you what it is you really appreciate, right? So that's okay. That happens in life. You just have to appreciate that as another gift that you get that tells you that you're reminded then of what is really important to you. So. Yeah.
Well, I thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story with us and Unstoppable Connections. And we've been sharing, your links to your website and Facebook. And please stay in touch. I want to take me on the journey with you so that I know where you're at as things grow.
Absolutely. I would love to. And thank you for having me on. It was really, really fun, as I knew it would be, because
Yeah.
I love your energy. So, but thank you for having me.
Oh, thanks, Cheryl. Right on. Well, we're going to have more fun. We'll have you back. Let's give it 4 or 5 months. We'll have you back and check in. But I mean, stay in touch with me. We're on Facebook and everything together. So I look forward to more from you.
Okay.
Thanks, Cheryl.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Cheryl Bassitt. She is Unstoppable Connections, and there's her story. What a fantastic story, a positive story. And she talked about the 4 seats there. And if you want to find out more, head on over to her website. We'll show it up there again, unstoppableconnections.com. And, of course, you can also find her on Facebook. She's got lots of great information there. Make sure you head on over there, like her page for her, help her grow and get some more fan base out there, because she's doing some fantastic positive things. And if you want, there's her email address. Just send her an email directly and ask your questions, share your thoughts. I know she'll get back to you very timely. Thanks again, Cheryl, for joining us. All right. Well, this is this next guest coming up here. I had not seen really much from him in a while. I interviewed him. It's got to be going on 3 or 4 years ago. And he is an artist. What kind of an artist is he? Well, he's a street artist. He's a poet. He's a lot. He's got multiple skill sets as an artist, and he's going to be making a return here into Sarnia coming up shortly in a few weeks. But right now, we're going to bring him online. And this is Justin Vallee. How you doing, Justin?
What's up, David? How are you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic. You just kind of out of the blue, you sent me a message, and I was like, oh, wow, it's Justin. You've been busy.
Yeah, I try to stay on the wheel, keep that energy there, move from project to project. And, if I'm coming to a new city or going to an old city, I try to, touch base with people and just make things happen, So
yeah,
that's why I reached out to you, and now we're here.
Here we are. Fantastic. Well, the timing's good because you're going to be coming back to Sarnia shortly, but tell everybody how would you describe yourself as an artist?
I don't know. I guess diverse. What you're looking at right now, this is like my Rose series. It's one of my signature series, and I've been established in this for some years, and I've developed close to 800 patterns now with that. And
yeah,
I really enjoy, just delivering it and putting it out there and making some great creative projects.
Well, these are, when we talked a few years ago, was down on Ontario Street here, the building across from Dempsey's there. And
yes, that was the cat mural, right?
Yeah, that's right. Thank you. And, a lot of artists, when they paint or draw or whatever their forte is, I mean, they're on a canvas, usually about this big. You have really big canvases though, because you're doing buildings, and
yeah.
That's a lot of time, isn't it?
You would think it's a lot of time, but over time, myself, I've kind of you perfect the way you work, and I can accomplish something pretty big within 2 to 4 hours. Big projects, sometimes a couple weeks, but I get used to it. I love doing it. When I get out here and work, it's like I wake up super early. Like, I'm usually there before the sun rises. I have a hard time sleeping when I get home because I'm so excited about working. It's like I was a kid on Christmas. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The mind doesn't stop, does it?
Presents. Yeah. Well, it can get exhausting if you're on a project for 2 weeks and your mind's racing while you're working hard, and then you're like, ugh. But yeah, it's rewarding at the end to step back and look at it and take your last shots and put it in the portfolio.
There you go. Well, we've got Sean Blonde is out here. Is that somebody you know?
That is one of my best friends. I was just in New York staying with him, and he's actually coming in a couple of weeks here, along with the guy I used to be in a group with, and we're gonna have a powwow before I come up to Canada. So
nice. Well, he wants to know what's your lifestyle like on the road, bro.
Ooh, that's a good question, bro. He's got to sample that. It was touch and go there in the beginning. I gotta be honest. It was a hope and a dream, and at times it was running on fumes, but I put out the work. I've done a lot of free work, and I get paying gigs, and you just got to keep the energy there, and you create this destiny for yourself, I guess. And I'm just trying to work hard, and like sleeping on the couch, sleeping on the floor, going without a shower sometimes is what you have to do if you want to be on the road.
Right. Well, I was going to say, because I mean, man's got to eat. You got to eat. You got to have a place to lay your head down. What keeps you going when you hit those times?
Just the drive, man. The drive is always there. It's in my belly. It's always there. It's never gone. You know the drive. You're doing this, so I know you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, I know what it's like for me. I mean, yeah, there's those times you're on fumes, I love how you put that. Those times you're on fumes, but those are the times maybe we work harder than when we're doing well sometimes. But it's I like to call it like a pulley, right? It's hard to get going at the start, and then once it gets going, it's easier. But you got, as long as you keep it going, so you gotta have all that momentum.
You're like, zoof.
Yeah. What inspires you, Justin? I have to ask.
What inspires me? Wow. Everything inspires me. Like my friends inspire me, my relationships inspire me, like the world around me. As far as like my road series, that's unique into itself. I just kind of sit here, I vibe. I can do like 15, 20 a day sometimes if my mind's right. And I'm not interrupted too much. And it's like I never have to push hard or pull from anywhere. It just like everything kind of comes naturally, and it's always very different. I'm creating this never-ending world that keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's cool to see it develop from, like, if you follow me on Facebook, you can be my friend, Justin Vallee. I don't turn people away unless you're like super creepy and you have to troll me hard. I mean hard, because I'll troll you back. I love trolling trolls. But some people just piss me off. I'm like, get off my page! Get off! I worked too hard for this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to try to keep it radio edit for you. But
okay.
Yeah, like so I've got like this never-ending, stack of walls, potential walls to go through, and it's fun to go to a business and meet somebody and kind of pop them out and let them choose what they want for their building.
Right. So what do you have so when you're coming to Sarnia, then do you have some plans for projects to paint buildings, or are you still trying to figure that out? Where are you at with that?
I'm glad you should ask. I have 2 projects, but anything could happen. Like nothing is guaranteed. But one is either on Front Street or Christina. I'm not going to say exactly because I don't like to talk about the project exactly before it happens, because then it could get squashed. But if you follow me on my page, or I am Fallen Rose on Facebook, you can also see where I'm going to be and what I'm going to be painting while I'm in town. Because I let you see the space before. I take a picture in the beginning, and then I keep it rolling. And if you watch, sometimes you'll see my mistakes where I correct myself, or whatever. Okay. I'm not really ashamed to show it. I don't know another muralist that kind of is this open, has the door open like this, and let you kind of see what they're creating at all times. But I stay on the wheel. So I have 2 projects. One is a sweet spot, and I'm hoping it falls through. But the second place is, so far it's a barn with a possible silo. In the beginning it was a barn and silo. Right now it's a barn, but I'm going to be happy with whatever I get.
Okay.
And I'm going to rock it out, and I'll announce that location once I get there. But
sure, I
am open to projects, to businesses, like bars, like private homes, inside, outside, boats, cars, like RVs, like whatever you can think, whatever you can throw at me. There's a lot of surfaces I've covered already, but there's a ton that I haven't done. This is going to be my first barn and possibly my first silo, which is I'm really excited. Come to Canada, my birth town, Sarnia. St. Clair, baby, St. Clair.
Oh, yeah, here's St. Clair. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just keeping it real, man. I've been gone for a while, but I got Sarnia in my heart. I was raised between there and Tennessee. My mom was in Tennessee. I was with her most of the time. In the summers, I was with my dad. And then in high school, I went up there and graduated. I went my last 2 years, so I got to really enjoy hanging out with my dad and being in Sarnia and all year. You know, it's great.
Sarnia's a great place.
So,
I agree with you 100%
it's
there.
like my childhood. You know, I go there and I go to certain spots and I got to see if it's still popping there, if this is still there, you know. And it's nice because a lot of things change, but a lot of things stay the same too, which is a beautiful thing when I can always come home and, you know, there's similarities.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what you come up with. Maybe you could send me a message and give me maybe a sneak as to where you're going to be if I keep it. And I'll try to meet you down. I'll meet you down there with the camera if I can be down there, and we'll do another.
Keep it on the down low, bro.
I will. You swear me to secrecy for sure. Let's talk a little bit more. I just got a few more minutes left with you. I want to talk about your poetry. Share what that's all about.
You know, I've done a lot of poetry. Funny enough, I used to have I was in a duo called Two Square for like the bulk of the beginning of my street art career, and the last half I've been on my own. But I had like over 500 poems on the site, and the site got shut down. Well, we weren't Two Square anymore, so we quit paying for it, and like all that stuff kind of like went away. So everything that like you're seeing on my Facebook, I just posted there now, and that's just so much. There's only so much there, but like the well is so deep. But I've started like fresh and went off. It's about my life, you know, about what I see, what I feel, and you know, I've been kind of my content has been kind of like censored lately, and now it's not censored anymore. Let's just put it that way. So I'm excited to. I've got a lot of stuff I've been writing, and I've just been so busy here I haven't released it yet. But I'm looking forward to releasing some of my new writing. But it's about love. It's about pain. It's about being an artist. You know, it's about my woes. I'm in my Drake. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What's the
my
goal?
Feelings, bro. I'm outside the car dancing and stuff. Spray painting. Ow, 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 ow.
Well, you've certainly got the energy to do what you're doing and keep yourself going. What's the ultimate goal for Justin Vallee as an artist?
You know, well, you know, I'm starting to reach a lot of my goals now. Like, you know, it's kind of funny. Things come when they're supposed to, I guess. And I've hit high peaks before, and then I had to like fall down a little bit. And now I've been like, you know, climbing my way up, just like working really hard, just in the gutters, in the streets, elbows, like, oh. But you know, I really enjoy doing what I'm doing. You know, I've been close to 25 countries now, and some of them I've been to a lot over and over again, and then, you know, including the States and stuff. But I want to see the world. I want to paint the world. You know, I want to, I take the juice. I get the money from the big gigs, and then I apply it to like a country like Guatemala, and I go do like 48 murals in a couple months for free on like mud huts and on houses that are in the ghettos that have never been painted. So it's like a pleasure. I give back, I take, you know, give and receive, man. So if you have me paint, man, you know, that could take me anywhere around the world. I'm like, you know, Botswana or something. You never know.
That's awesome. Well, Justin, I appreciate you taking time out of your busy life to join us here, and looking forward to seeing what you bring to Sarnia. And I'll see you. And you send me where you're going to be, and I'll make sure that Definitely. I do my best to get down. We'll do a live interview or something down where you're at. I
would appreciate that. I would be honored, and I look forward to it. I'll see you soon, David.
Cheers, Peace, Justin. Sonia. Peace back. Yeah. All right, Justin Vallee. Boy, he's got the energy for sure. And I got to tell you, I'm honestly always I don't know if jealous, maybe envious of any artist who can be that, because I can't do stick people, honestly. I'm not even making it up. But Justin's going to be returning to Sarnia. Sounds like he's got a couple things underway. He's traveled all over the world, and but he always likes to remember his roots back here in Sarnia. So Justin, thank you so much again for joining me here, and we'll look forward to seeing you in person. All right. Wow. The time is flying by, but we've got time for one more guest here. And I'm looking forward to talking to my friend Rob here. Rob Harwood is the Director of Parks and Recreation here in Sarnia, and he's going to talk to us about the Sarnia Arena Revitalization Project. I've been practicing saying that all day. It's a mouthful for sure. There's my friend Rob Harwood. How you doing, Rob?
Fantastic, my friend. How's things today?
I'm doing great. I'm not kidding. I had to learn how to say revitalization without messing it up.
We did that on purpose just to keep you guessing, my friend.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You're really busy. It looks like you're coming to me from your office down at City Hall.
I don't have quite as much energy as your last guest because it's been a long working day, but we'll do what we can do here.
Yeah, well, you certainly have lots on the go. I mean, between what you're, I guess, normally looking after, a bigger project has sort of been added into things, and it's we like to call the Brock Street Barn.
Yeah, indeed, Dave. There's no question. We've got a lot going on in Parks and Recreation, and this is just one of the projects, but we're pretty excited about it. Myself, spent a lot of years in that building. My office was in that building for 25 plus years. So be happy to see us getting some money into it. And the feedback we're getting from people is really, really good. That place is iconic in this community. So people are pretty happy to see that the doors stay open and that we're making some good progress with the project.
And you say feedback from people, what kind of things, what kind of positive things are you hearing?
Well, actually, I mean, we're hearing mostly from our user groups, the major user groups that have had a chance to get in there and have a peek. But I've got a pretty good sense that on Friday, when folks do come out and visit the Brock Street Barn Bash, that they're going to be pretty excited to see. That's why I thought doing a sneak preview video was not a bad idea, because it's, so often people don't really get a chance to get down and have a good look at projects when they're ongoing. And of course, we had to wait till it was safe to do so as well.
Yeah, right.
But hey, come on out Friday night. You're going to love what you see. There's a lot of aesthetic things that you're going to see that we did that we're pretty happy about. The finishings on the walls and things are looking nice, the ceiling, everything. But we've also covered our bases as far as the accessibility type components. There's also a new roof on the front part of that building. Doesn't excite too many people other than us. But we've got new HVAC systems. I mean, everything's going to be pretty up to snuff. And it's fun how far that video has traveled, actually. Been getting some feedback.
Uh-oh. Where'd you go? We've lost Rob. So, Rob, if you can hear me, refresh and rejoin, if you would, please. I'm going to refresh and rejoin. Stay with us. We're going to be right back, I promise. All right, I'm back. We'll see if Rob Harwood gets refreshed there. Not sure what happened, but that's technological. I haven't had a perfect show yet since I've gone live, right? But this is what's fun about it. So Rob Harwood, as we wait for him to return. I mean, let's see here, technology. We're live. So Rob Harwood, Director of Parks and Recreation, reaching out to us from City Hall, and it looks like here he's back. Okay, here we go again, Rob.
Ding.
Ding,
okay.
We're back.
I refreshed. All right. Jeez, I just said my most profound thing ever, and you just cut me off.
I didn't touch anything.
Yeah, I'm just saying that we're pretty happy with the progress that we've made with the project. Obviously, we probably spend 10 times as much on the building, but hey, we're very happy with the money that we have received, and we're hoping to get some more donations coming forward, because we would really like to put in another spectator heating system to replace the very, very dated one that's in there right now.
Right.
So that's part of our reasoning for having the Brock Street Barn Bash, is to help to drum up some more donations, but also just to give people the opportunity to come out and have a look at what we've done so far. Sure. Because the feedback's been great.
Well, and can we talk about the money thing for just a minute? Because I know that there's been some stuff that came from the government, but I know there's been some local, really strong local support, I should say. And I know, I guess taxpayers always kind of want to know what's happening. And I think the other good thing that you do in the video as well, which turned out great, is that it's hard to know what's going on in that building. You're just driving by, and the outside face hasn't really changed. So I know I've seen people doing this in windows, and So how did this
In the
all
new
come
windows.
about? Yeah, in the new windows. That's right. So how did this all get started, and where is the money coming from for this?
Well, ideally, this has been a project that's been on the back burner for years. We knew that we were going to need to raise, at least $1.5 million. And fortunately, when the Canada 150 grant program came out, the grant application that we put in was a strong one, and it seemed to fit the criteria very nicely. So, folks have said, well, why didn't you take the Canada 150 money to CASA, for instance? Well, it likely wouldn't have qualified. So there were an enormous number of buildings and cities across the country that actually put in for that. We were, one of few that were successful with that. So pretty happy with that. So basically the deal was that it's a third, a third, a third. So it's a third that the city had to put up, a third that the federal government gave us, and then the other third comes from donations. We're still a little shy on the donation side, so we're having to top it up with capital money that we had from the City of Sarnia for arena improvements. But unfortunately, that means then that there's no money left for the other two buildings. So we're really hoping that we can drum up a little bit more in donations and hopefully finish some of the things that we still have left to do.
So what do we need, Rob? What's the number?
Well, ultimately, if the Burrows Foundation could give us about another $1 million, we would be doing really well. But at this point right now, another $70,000 would be very helpful because we'd like to replace the spectator heating system.
Okay.
And that's just one of the projects that kind of fell off the list. Some of the things that we did do, you saw in the video, we did some barrier-free stuff. We put a new flat roof on there. It doesn't excite anybody else but us. But HVAC units, we've done some improvements to efficiency. So, ultimately, we're looking at doing some nice aesthetic stuff. We're doing great accessibility stuff, but we're also trying to make the building more efficient. So it costs us less to operate it for years to come. So, we're spending money in the right way, doing the right things.
And I guess you have to. There's a lot of planning goes in this. You just don't kind of walk in, look around, and go, well, let's paint that color, and let's do all this stuff. And what I heard you sort of mention there. Sometimes things has to wait. It must be a chore to prioritize what needs to happen first.
Ultimately, it is for sure. Obviously, as you take on a project like this in a building that's as old as that one is, we need to update.
He's doing it again, folks. As we were talking with Rob Harwood to give us the priority list, I guess, for the Brock Street Barn Bash. I'm just going to drop that down, see if we can get him to come back here. So the Brock Street Barn Bash is going to happen this Friday, August the 17th, from 6 to 11 p.m. Our friends Scott Maneri and the Barn Burners are going to be there. So there's going to be lots of energy in that room. Just saw Scott Maneri and the Barn Burners not too long ago. 6 to 11, huh? I hope they've talked to Scott Maneri about that because he'll probably want to go till midnight if they let him. But you can come on down. You heard as Rob Hard was talking there about needing some more money still, so that's one of the reasons why they want to have this, because they want to help support some of the other buildings again as well. And Rob is laughing once again as I try to fill the dead air. He's back again, folks. He's just giving me a challenge here. I don't know.
Oh, boy.
You have to fix that Wi-Fi down at City Hall, Rob.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Yeah.
Speaking of Wi-Fi, and I filled in the blanks there as you disappeared. As someone who uses it all the time, how's the Wi-Fi going to be in the new building?
Well, actually, we don't have it yet, but as I'm sure you're aware, our IT department has had some real challenges to kind of get us up to speed, and that is on the list. So sometime we're hoping by the end of next year that Wi-Fi in buildings will come up. But at this point right now, there's some equipment upgrades and things that I have to do to be able to safely host that kind of stuff. So and our IT team's doing a great job. So
I point that out. Obviously, we've had these conversations about how important it is to somebody like me, but I want people to understand you don't just install Wi-Fi.
Right.
Right. There's depends whether the and we've got a lot of fiber optics being installed in Sarnia yet. So I mean, they might not be available yet. It might make sense to wait to do that. If that those sort of things, right? Oh, he's gone again. He just doesn't want to be here with me today. I don't know what it is. We're gonna give one more try there, but if we talk about the Wi-Fi, and
I'm not even on Wi-Fi. I'm on a hard connection
yeah,
here.
I was gonna say, what's going on? I'm gonna give Ravi a call down there. I'll see.
Yeah, there we go.
But yeah, I want people to understand. Like, there's a lot of timing to this too in the project. Do we do this now? Do we maybe wait until fiber optics are in, that kind of thing? So I mean, there's a lot going on there, and I know. And then you've got to do this, and then you got to keep everything else in the parks working.
Well, exactly. I mean, honestly, that is a priority. We understand it. We've been wanting that in our buildings, and we'd like to have public Wi-Fi in parks as well. And it'll come, but there's definitely some upgrades that had to take place with the equipment here. We've got a great team on our IT team here now. So we're pretty excited that we're going to do things the right way. And to your point, that's an excellent point, Dave, that you don't just give Wi-Fi out, because Wi-Fi is an opportunity for people to get into your network. So you need to make sure all the safeguards are there. And
Absolutely.
our team is approaching that sensibly.
Perfect. Well, I know you're going to be down at the Brock Street Barn Bash, and hopefully they'll let me in the doors too. I can come down and do some things.
You're on the honorary guest list, my friend.
Okay, well, that's good to know. It's only $5 anyway if you're going to come down to the Brock Street Barn Bash. The public is certainly welcome. And it's 6 to 11, but I mean, has anybody talked to Scott Maneri and told him like this is over at 11, not midnight?
Yeah, Scott. So he'll be on stage at 7 o'clock, and he won't get off until we drag him off with the big hook. So he's a great guy. Both you and I know him, and pretty happy that he's coming out to support us. Yeah,
fantastic. Rob, before I let you go, any final words? There's some sponsors maybe you want to give shout out to?
Yeah, actually, that's what I was doing while I was frozen screen there, but it sounded great to me, not to you. So we've got a lot of great donations that have come in from folks right down to my mom and lots of other folks. But also, the first company that stepped up was Kelgore. They gave us $50,000. We're extremely happy about that.
And it's going to happen again. As you said there, Kelgore, it doesn't look like it's going to work out, so I'm just going to have to try to wrap this up for Rob. Rob, sorry, buddy, we tried. But I know he wanted to give a shout out to a lot of the sponsors. Kelgore there, $50,000, and I know there's a list of others. We'll get that list from Rob, and we'll make sure that we post it in the comments section below. So thanks again, Rob Harwood, for joining us as much as you could. It wasn't me, man. I don't know, but I'll take the blame. It's not my fault, but you can blame me. Rob Harwood from Director of Parks. It's live. The show must go on, right? We got to keep going around here. Rob Harwood, Director of Parks and Recreation, joining us here to talk about the Brock Street Barn Bash this Friday. Oh, he's back one more time. Okay, we're going to do this one more time. I was about to wrap it up. Okay, sponsor list, Kelgore, $50,000 and go.
Oh, it ended right there, did it? Yeah, we've been very, very fortunate. Actually, there's been a lot of personal donations that have come in. But also, Skate Sarnia has been good to us. Sarnia Hockey Association has been excellent to us. Kelgore, $50,000 right off the bat. That really kickstarted things for us. Progressive Auto Sales has actually also been very generous to us. Sarnia Legionnaires Hockey Club as well. Century Fire Services.
I don't know what it is. You get the point. Lots of people donating out there. Hockey club, Century Fire Service, I think was the last one Rob mentioned there. Lots of great donations, but they still need some more. If you want to help, it's only $5. Go down there, have some fun. Check out the new facilities and the new things that are going on down there. I know there is a sneak preview. If you want to go to the Sarnia City website, it's on there, and also on the Facebook page, you can see the video that Rob does a tour inside of the new Brock Street Barn, and you can go check that out all on Friday night. Brock Street Barn Bash with Scott Maneri and the Barn Burners. And I want to say thanks to all my guests for joining me here. Rob, we got through as much as we can. I've told them all. We'll post all the links to the sponsors after the show. You can send me that link. I want to say also thank you to my other guests, Cheryl Bassitt, who joined me earlier, Unstoppable Connections. She's doing wonderful things. Make sure you reach out to her and check her website out. And, of course, the very high-energy Justin Vallee. He was here, and he's going to be coming back here to Sarnia, painting some more buildings and having some more fun with his art and some great projects coming along. I want to say thanks to all of you for watching here every week. We're live every Monday at 3:30. And if you can't watch it live, that's okay. The replay's here for life. If you enjoyed the show, do me a favor in the comments below. Give me a 10 down there that says you enjoyed the show, or a thumbs up, whatever works. Click the like button and share this around. And if you're watching the replay, just type replay so that I know when you were watching, all right? Thanks again to all of my guests. Thanks to all of you. I'll see you down at the Brock Street Barn Bash on Friday. I'm going to be there for sure, all right? That's all the time I got for you this week, everybody. Have a great week, an even better weekend. I'll talk to you next time right here on the show live. Bye for now.